2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. expert tips for all the newcomers and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now. the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now.
Snatch. 6.
This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now.
Snatch. 6.
This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now.
Snatch. 6.
This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now.
Snatch. 6.
This week marks our 50th episode of NBA 2K TV, and today we have an awesome holiday show planned for you. We show off the best moments of 2K TV, share expert tips for all the newcomers, and have a lot of fun with 2K TV Interactive. Tune in now.
Welcome, basketball fans. It's Halloween, and we've got a treat for you. It's the opening of the NBA season. And thanks for joining us here on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg with Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. And here we go, the battle between conferences. It's East versus West, where the Indiana Pacers will be looking to make a statement. This is their first chance to take a look at the Jazz. They controlled everything in both games last year, going 2-0.
And guys, these teams don't see each other too often, but last year they would have liked to see a little bit more of them, the way they were able to take care of their business.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. I mean, anytime you have an advantage on the team and you're looking to pile up wins, you'd like to have them on your schedule more times than just a couple.
All right, let's set the floor. Courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. And so in the game for the Jazz, Favors and Gobert are the shot-blocking duo inside. Pairing up in the backcourt, Trey Burke and Alec Burks. And it's Hayward in at the 3 slot. You know, Clark, the thing you like about Derek Favors is he keeps adding to his game every year. You forget how young he is, too.
That's exactly right. We need a reminder. This guy came into the league very early, right after a year of college. Seems like he's been around forever.
It's Hill on the wing. And it's Hill. That time the assist from Miles. Hill's got himself on the board with 3 there. For Utah, they've gone 2 of 3 here to start out the game. Gobert with a screen for Burke. And it's sent back by Hill. And now here's George, the fast break opportunity.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
Here's Burke. That's in, and he found his range with that one. Now 1 for 2.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
Hill with it. And Burks picks him up defensively. Hill passes to George. And the shot is long. The Jazz have gone 50% from the field, hitting 3 of 6 since the opening tip. Dishes to Burks. He kicks to Gobert. Pass to Favors. Gets a very good look and converts. Favors got 5. Pacers trailed by 4. Down low. And stolen by Favors. The shot by Hayward, wide open. It's good. The assist that time from Burke.
Oh, this is the kind of start they were hoping for.
Yeah, shots falling, off to a very good start offensively as a result.
Now here is Hill. Just 5 on the clock. Passes it to George. From the wing. Finds the hole for the second time from the floor. Now 2 for 5.
And his presence as a scorer, it just has a calming effect for the rest of the team. He's a fallback option whenever they need one.
And Favors kicks to Gobert. On its way from Hayward for 2. And again, it's Utah. Last outing for Utah, it was a loss to the 76ers in Philadelphia. Utah was so tough near the end of last season, Greg. They weren't going to make the playoffs, but they did give other teams some trouble.
That's a great point. And how about going 19-10 after the All-Star break? Another team that would have been in the playoffs if they were in the East. And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball. How about the purpose with which he's crashing the backboards right now? Some hard-earned second chance points.
Now here is Hill. George dishes to Miles. And the Pacers another 3.
You know, for the Jazz, you mentioned their post-All-Star break surge. I mean, that 19-10 record they had after the break was good enough for 6th best in the league.
And the call will be against George Hill. That's his first foul. So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Larry Sanders is checked in for Rudy Gobert. Joe Ingles comes in for Gordon Hayward. Hood's checked in for Alec Burks. And it's Dante Exum in for Burke.
And really, the Jazz were a team nobody wanted to play after the break. They were over 500 against the rest of the West and had some big wins over playoff teams in the process.
So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. And a switcher also for Utah. Booker's checked in. Here's Hood after Indiana gets the three. Shoots from the right block. The three-pointer no good. Right side Hill. Larry Sanders with the rebound.
You rarely see him missing dunks, but the defender was right in his face on that one, and it threw him off just enough.
Sanders sets the screen for Exum. To the inside. And the dunk by Booker.
Boy, that was a strong pick by Sanders.
It's Ellis on the wing. He hasn't scored yet. That, I'm sure, will change. Picked him clean. Hood, the pass to Booker. Ellis with some nice deep. Pacers trail by 4.
And Rodney Stuckey, a combo guard out of Eastern Washington, played a big role for the Pacers a season ago.
I'm not sure that was the play they had set up, but it was too good a look to pass up.
And here's Exum, following the three-pointer by Rodney Stuckey. Exum kicks to Booker. Down low. Sanders' shot is off. You were talking about Stuckey. He did play well in his first year with the Pacers. Clark, he helped them as a starter and off the bench.
Yeah, really had his most efficient year scoring the ball to date. And more than his scoring and what he brought on the court, his presence in the locker room and professionalism. You talk to the people around the Pacers, he was a breath of fresh air on a team that has a number of fresh air guys.
Sanders' shot is good. Sanders has got his first bucket of the night. And a chance now to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for the Jazz.
Well, I think the defensive aggressiveness on display here has caught him off guard. Playing airtight defense and coming up with the steal.
And also defensively, they've been able to cause some turnovers tonight. And that also builds confidence and gives you momentum.
Some changes for Indiana. Chase Budinger, he's checked in for Lavoy Allen. And Glenn Robinson III is subbed in for Solomon Hill. Now here's Ellis. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. And that one goes in as he is fouled. It will be 3 points if he converts at the line.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists.
Exum with it. He's guarded by Ellis. A nice shot by Exum.
3 consecutive baskets have come right at the rim. The defense had better start buckling down and tightening up.
Guys, they are getting exposed in terms of their low post defense.
Now here's Ellis. Feeds it to Budinger. Goes up at the stripe. Larry Sanders with the rebound. Here's Hood. Here's Booker. No good on the buzzer beat. And so lots of scoring in that competitive first quarter. Jazz lead by 2. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And the guys, what's your take on Utah so far?
I just think that from an intensity standpoint, their defense has really been the key. It's been the catalyst as they've been able to disrupt their opponent's offense.
Absolutely. I mean, they've been much more intense defensively. And their defense not only has been intense, but it's been swarming and saran wrap-like.
So on the floor for Utah, the forwards are Hayward and Favors. Pairing up in the backcourt, Trey Burke and Alec Burks. And it's Gobert in at the center, locking down the middle. Here's Burks. And the rebound goes to the Pacers. Here's Robinson. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, way to play in attack mode and get to the line.
And, you know, the defense gets their money's worth on that foul, stopping the layup and not giving up the and one.
So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Mahimi's checked in for Dallenberg. Hill comes in for Chase Budinger. C.J. Miles, he's checked in for Rodney Stuckey. And George Hill's subbed in for Monte Ellis. And Miles kicks to Hill. A beautiful reverse layup. Hill's got his first points in this one.
You know, obviously, he knows how to finish with some flair.
You know, for the Pacers last season, with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. As for those dry spells you mentioned about the Pacers, GA, they had a number of long losing streaks last season.
Yeah, as a team, they had 4 different losing streaks of 6 or more games, and they got hot at the end. Season-high win streak of 6 to stay playoff relevant. It was just too little, too late compared to their losing streaks earlier in the year.
George is checked in for Indiana. Over to the wing. And here's Miles outside. His second shot goes in, off to a good start, 2 for 2.
Of all the guys you want to leave open out on the perimeter, he is the absolute last guy on the list. Attention to detail. Know your personnel.
Now here is Hill. Derek Favors unable to get his shot to go. Outside, George. Good, the assist goes to Hill. That's 7 points for Paul George.
Such a height mismatch out on the perimeter, and they give up the triple.
Pushing it up. No good.
If he can improve on what's been a shaky day for him thus far, they could stretch this lead out.
Favors attacking. That's in. That's his 5th field goal. He's shooting a hot 71%. 5 for 7. Outside Hill. Inside. And it's Mahimi finishing it off.
He is an automatic finisher when he gets into that area.
You know, he picks the simple one-handed stuff to get the 2 points.
Yeah, and in a close game, though, guys, those could be really important points.
And the call will be against George Hill. That'll be his second foul of the game. Utah with the ball. They trail by 1. Favors with the ball. He's picked up by Hill. Hayward. And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by George. 3 minutes of action so far in the second quarter. And he gets the bucket. And the Jazz lead by 1.
That's the 10th straight point they've given up in the paint.
And, you know, it doesn't matter how good your defense is on the perimeter if you're going to allow easy ones inside like that.
Now here is Hill. Fires the 3. And there's Paul George on the assist by Hill. Hill's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight.
And, guys, no doubt George Hill had it rough last season. He missed the first 28 games with that left knee injury. came back for 5, then missed another 11 games before his season got going. But you know what? He had one of his most productive years from that point on.
The field goal percentage has been bumped up into the high 50s now.
And when you're shooting like this, you should be winning. They're scoring with tremendous efficiency.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
And with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, you know, they haven't had to do much work on the perimeter.
To the middle. Mahimi dishes to Miles. Clock at 6. Pick up by Hill. Off the pick. And then Miles with the dunk.
And did you see the screen that was set for him? I mean, that was how he got to the hoop.
It was the classic screenplay. It won't show up in the box score, but that screen deserves an assist.
Absolutely, Kevin. I mean, that took the defender right out of the play.
And a first time out of the game called for Utah. And for C.J. Miles, he sure can string together a long line of threes under the league with a nice jump shot that has now become deadly.
Yeah, he doesn't get to the free throw line much, and he's not really much of a playmaker, but he's 3D in color. HD 3D.
Samuel Dallenberg, who's checked in for Ian Mahimi. It's stolen by Hill. And George with the stuff.
And that's the kind of play you just do not want to give up defensively. You lose the possession and give up a quick 2 at the other end. That's losing basketball.
Especially when you can't afford to give up any buckets. That's a nice lead now.
Here's Miles. Finishes the break with a slam.
And that's how you take the steal and turn it into a transition opportunity.
I think that's the perfect time to do it, Greg. I mean, those few seconds after the turnover, strike right away because the defense has no chance to get organized.
To the left side wing. Ingles. From outside, off the mark.
And talking about C.J. Miles, he was filthy last year. Indiana needed his spark offensively, especially without Paul George in the lineup. Miles responded by putting up career highs in points and minutes played. Just an unbelievable impact on the season.
Cutting into that lead a little bit. Way to finish.
And the basket is still shaking.
Oh, I mean, he has got power in bunches on that two-hand.
In the corner, George with it. It's back to Hill. No good on the 3.
And for most every team out there, guys, they're looking for a guy like C.J. Miles. Decent size, natural movement skills, and can absolutely shoot the lights out. Call him buckets because that's a lethal formula.
And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for Indiana?
They've been making some really nice passes out there. Excellent passing. That could set the tone for the rest of the game.
And keep an eye on the three-point shooting because that has been a factor as well. If they can maintain that current form, they can be successful. And started hot, and he's only gotten harder.
Exum passes to Sanders. Shoots from the block. And he gets it to go. Booker's got 5 now.
I love the ball movement there. He put that on a silver platter. Just served him up.
Pick up by Hill. Down low. An easy 2 points on the layup. Hill's got 4 this quarter.
4 of their last 5 makes came off of a high-quality shot inside.
Textbook. Really, when you look at how they're playing, they are having their way down low.
Flush that thing down, young fella.
That is a fierce two-hander.
Maximum force on that dunk.
Now here is Hill. He's got 5. Shot's good.
Dead-eye shooting from them this quarter.
And you know what? The frustration for the defense is mounting because it seems like they can't miss out there.
Here is Miles. 13 points in the game. To the middle. Nice shot by Dallenberg. Dallenberg's got the lead up to 10 now for Indiana.
And the interior D is really starting to be exposed here. How many layups have they gotten today?
It's stolen by Hill. Fast break. Here comes Indiana.
Agility leads to thievery there as he got his hand in there to get the steal. Intelligent play to immediately.
Got it! He got it!
Just in time.
What a shot! And so we conclude the first half. It's the Pacers leading by 9. We'll get right back to the action when we return.
Alarms go off when I enter the building.
And welcome back to the second half of our Halloween broadcast.
Take a look here at what Miles has been doing. 15 points, and he sprayed home 3 3-pointers as well.
This is really production personified from long range.
Now the second half about to start up and begin any moment. Looking at the last game for the Indiana Pacers, it was a loss to the Grizzlies.
A lot of NBA teams have been outright buying developmental league teams. I mean, the Jazz did that last season. They purchased the Idaho Stampede last March, and we see more and more of that happening, one-on-one affiliations between D-League teams and NBA teams.
Solomon Hill is out there with Allen. Then there's Rodney Stuckey. Then there's Ellis. And it's Turner in the pivot spot, manning the middle. So that's the group out there for Indiana. Gobert, the screen. Burks kicks to Favors. The feed to Burke. With the fadeaway. The rebound by Turner. Well, last year the Jazz acquired the Stampede from the D-League. It makes sense. They'll have a designated place now to develop, Greg, all their young talent.
And Kevin, it's really a key for the Jazz to have those extra minutes available for all those young talents to get opportunity to get confidence, but also to learn your system. I think more and more NBA teams will follow this route of buying D-League teams.
You know, even though he missed that three-point shot, I think the defense has to do a better job of challenging the shot.
Yeah, as a coach, you can really ill afford to have those types of opportunities presented against your defense.
The Pacers shooting their 6th and 7th free throws in the game.
And one bright note for the Pacers last season was the play of their bench. Adding Rodney Stuckey was a huge boost for them.
Burke dishes to Gobert. Kicks to Burke. Launches it. Another miss by Utah.
And they start the second half with 3 straight misses.
There's the bucket. Good. And Stuckey led the charge for the Pacers bench, Greg, as you were talking about. But all around the reserves, Clark, were fantastic on the Pacers.
Yeah, 3rd in the league at almost 41 points per game off the bench. 1st in the NBA in bench rebounding. And top 10 in field goal percentage as a bench.
Ellis outside. They set the pick. Hill has the open look. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. Here's Burks. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
Boy, for Alec Burks, he really started to put it all together in his 3rd season. He doubled his scoring average. Shooting percentage was up. Then last season, a strong start, but a shoulder injury cut short what I thought was going to be his best season yet.
Pass to Turner. It's deflected. Burks with the steal. One-on-one here. And that one's good by Favors.
And you can sense things now starting to tighten up. Their offense has become unstoppable.
And, Greg, I'm not quite sure why it took him as long as it did to finally get things going, but As we always say, better late than never.
Hayward can hit.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on it.
Burks with it, and Allen picks him up defensively. Burks, the pass to Favors. And there's the pass to Burks. The three-pointer, no good. And back to Alec Burks, a guy who entered the league with raw talent, but once the light went on, Greg, he showed the ability to help his team in a number of ways.
Yeah, he's going to be the prototype in terms of a two-way player. He's a guy who can not only score it for you, but he'll rebound and defend it. But what impressed me last season is he averaged 3 assists a game, really looked to make plays for his teammates. Yeah, nice, strong finish there, nearly a three-point opportunity.
Full throttle, pedal to the metal, attacking basketball. I like that.
Jazz trail by 11. Here's Burke. There's the three. That's good. Burke's got 9. Ellis outside. Right side Turner. Hill kicks to Turner. Good. The assist goes to Hill. And that's now 6 points for Miles Turner.
Yeah, heads-up aggressive play right there. Saw the smaller man on him and took it straight to the basket.
Here's Favors. It's rebounded by Indiana. 17 points was their biggest margin. At the conclusion of this game, they're off to Detroit, where they'll face the Pistons. That will be a getaway game for them, a one-game road trip. Here's Ellis. And he drops in the layup off the glass. And it's a 12-point Indiana lead.
And those are the kinds of plays that are just killing them right now.
Now, here's Burks. He's guarded by Stuckey. And that one's good. 12 points for Gordon Hayward.
Boy, I tell you, I thought the Jazz had a big year last season. Looked much tougher than before. A big part of that is how Coach Quinn Snyder helped the team grow. I mean, he looked like a perfect fit in his first year with the franchise.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
And Sanders throws it down.
And Kevin, the knack for the offensive rebound are a big part of what makes this guy special.
Not to mention, Greg, his ability to finish with strength just like that.
Yeah, he's an invaluable asset for them to have. No question about it.
You were mentioning the Jazz, and they grew last year under Coach Quinn Snyder in his first year. You know, Greg, he did the same thing with teams when he was a coach in the D-League.
That's a great point, Kevin. And beyond the growth that the Jazz showed, I think everyone in Utah was pleased with the style of play. I mean, Coach Snyder's got the team back to playing hard defense and really grinding out wins.
The shot by George, wide open. Gets the three-pointer to fall. George has got 17 now. And look at how the hustle game has been going for the Pacers.
We've seen them make the extra effort from a defensive standpoint, closing out airspace and sending shots back.
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points.
Hey, they got the shot they wanted off of that pick, but it just doesn't fall.
Yeah, it didn't go down, but you'll take that shot every single time, Greg. That's good offense.
Exum. And it's sent back by George.
Phenomenal alley-oop slam right there, guys.
They're taking advantage, Clark, of a team that looks lost out there.
Guys, this one is threatening to get really ugly. And we all know about Paul George and his injury while with Team USA. I mean, he has still said that he would consider playing international ball.
Utah calls timeout. Paul George really making a difference here.
He's definitely rolling offensively. You might not be able to stop him, but you've got to find a way to contain him.
The Jazz making a switch here. Burks is checked in. To the right side. Favors attacking. And he jams it with authority.
No doubt about it. He has done a ton to help his team, but he's going to have to do even more if they want to have a chance to get back in this one.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Jazz will take it. For George to be eager to go back and represent the U.S. in international play is a brave move.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, a lot of it might be that he just wants to put that in the past and move on. And sometimes you do that best by confronting things head on. The only way to have that be the past is to keep playing for his country. He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
It's back to Hill. Hill sets the screen for Hill. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. Jazz look to take charge at Energy Solutions Arena here in Salt Lake City, Utah. And we're going to bring it to you live. Last game for the Pacers, a loss to Portland. And so off the tip, it's Utah. All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. On the court for Indiana, Hill and Miles team up in the backcourt. Mahimi is out there with Hill. And it's George in the three. And he jams it after taking the nice feed on the run.
Fantastic dunk, and he decided to hang around up there for a while, Kevin.
Well, maybe, he didn't want to land awkwardly. I don't know.
Oh, guys, come on. He's up there posing for the photographers. That's all that's about.
Hill, no good. And Utah has possession. Burks with it. George picks him up. The feed to Burke. And the shot no good, a bit short.
Awesome defense. I mean, he'll hit those unless you're right in his grill.
And for a long time now, Indiana has protected the rim. It's one of the core elements of their defense and why they are so strong on D every year.
Pacers have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Outside Hill. And stolen by Favors. Knocked loose. Burks kicks to Favors. The 11-footer. That's in, and he found his range with that one. Now 1 for 2.
Took a little time, but they get one to go. Maybe they're warmed up now.
Hill kicks to Mahimi. And that one is hammered home.
Flying high and throwing down the hard one-hander.
One of his favorite moves right there, guys.
And really, he does that one as well as anyone. Kev, you're right. That's like his signature move once he goes airborne. Yeah, heads-up aggressive play right there. Saw the smaller man on him and took it straight to the basket.
Hill kicks to Miles. Burks with the steal. Takes the three. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. And breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for Utah.
And it's been about their defense. They're playing with a frenetic pace, putting a lot of pressure on the ball handlers and forcing turnovers.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnovers.
Here's George. Lets it go from the baseline and nails it. George has got his second basket.
I tell you what, guys, it's going to be a tough day on this defense if he's got the A game rolling tonight.
Here's Favors. No luck. And it's the Pacers taking it the other way. The kick out to Hill. To the paint. Hill. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down.
Well, Merry Christmas. I mean, that was a freebie. You know, I can think of one way to describe George Hill. It's the culmination of several attributes. I mean, he comes from the school of Popovich, plays under control, always in the right place defensively. The way I describe him is just steady.
Nice, accurate pass right into the middle.
Here is Miles. Burks covering. Miles, that's good. An interesting thing about George Hill, he was traded from the Spurs to the Pacers a few years back. Many people were surprised the Spurs would even trade a valuable veteran when they were trying to win a championship. But who did they trade him for? Kawhi Leonard. A pretty good deal.
Well, you know, Hill is really solid. He knocks down open shots, can run the offense or play off the ball equally well. I think he's a terrific combo guard, gives you a little bit of everything and does it in a professional way. And that's typically what attracts him to other teams. Well, that's clearly a situation you want to make sure you don't give him too good of a look at it.
No doubt about it. You cannot let up defensively just because he missed that one.
There's a good screen. And almost gets it to go, so he'll shoot two here. It's going to go on Gordon Hayward.
And guys, no doubt George Hill had it rough last season. He missed the first 28 games with that left knee injury, came back for 5, then missed another 11 games before his season got going. But you know what? He had one of his most productive years from that point on.
So Utah ends up going with a new group. So an entirely new group in now for Indiana. Samuel Dallenberg is checked in for Mahinmi. Lavoy Allen comes in for Hill. Hill, he's checked in for George. Rodney Stuckey subbed in for C.J. Miles. Monte Ellis, he's checked in for George Hill.
Shooting for Utah.
And getting back to George Hill, what a second half of the season he had. He tore up several key categories, Clark.
Yeah, he was bogged down by injuries early in the season. Came back to average career highs in points, rebounds, and assists, partly because he was finally treated and looked to as a go-to guy, and he thrived in that role.
So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game.
Get on up off your seats and make some noise for your Jazz Gazers.
Indiana making some changes. Robinson's checked in for Allen. And it's Buttinger in for Solomon Hill. Now here's Ellis. To the middle. Here's Dallenberg. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goals have come from the paint.
Exum kicks to Sanders. Here's Booker. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game. Indiana leading. Ellis on top. And stolen by Booker. Here's Hood. And Utah again with the bucket. There's a minute 34 left to play in the first.
Boy, I tell you, I thought the Jazz had a big year last season. Looked much tougher than before. The big part of that is how Coach Quinn Snyder helped the team grow. I mean, he looked like a perfect fit in his first year with the franchise.
Now here's Ellis. Looking for his first basket still in this one. 6 on the shot clock. And good on the basket. Book it. And the Pacers lead by 2. We were mentioning the Jazz, and they grew last year under Coach Quinn Snyder in his first year. You know, Greg, he did the same thing with teams when he was a coach in the D-League.
That's a great point, Kevin. And beyond the growth that the Jazz showed, I think everyone in Utah was pleased with the style of play. I mean, Coach Snyder's got the team back to playing hard defense and really grinding out wins. Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
Now, here's Exum. He dishes it to Booker. He feeds it to Exum. From deep three-point range. And the foul called on Larry Sanders. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus, and we'll go to the line to shoot 2. The Pacers have been successful on 3 of their 4 free throw attempts up to this point.
And going back a season ago, they were a pretty average team at the line, about 76% altogether.
Hood dishes to Booker. Kicks it to Ingles. Releases. Gets to the corner and buries it. Ingles has got his first bucket in this one. Ellis on top. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. And once again off the mark by Indiana. A good close contest so far as we finish the first quarter. Pacers lead by 3. It's the NBA on 2K Sports from Energy Solutions Arena in Salt Lake City. And we welcome you back to start the quarter. Players had a chance to get hydrated with Gatorade. And there's certain to be some great basketball ahead for us. Let's quickly break down the game we've seen from the Pacers so far, guys.
You know, they're not going to sit back and just take jump shots. It's all about attacking the paint and getting to the rim.
That's who they are. They've been the aggressor early, attacking the hoop and getting into that paint.
On the court for Indiana. They've got Buttinger. Rodney Stuckey out there with Ellis. Then it's D'Alembert. And it's Robinson in the power forward position.
How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
And I'm not sure if it was text or email, but he definitely threw that one down.
Gobert, he's checked in for Larry Sanders. Then for the Pacers, Turner comes in for Glenn Robinson III. And it's Hill in for Chase Buttinger. D'Alembert sets a screen for Ellis. It's stolen by Gobert. Here's Hayward. Hammers it home to polish off the break.
Great anticipation and awareness to come up with the steal and trigger the fast break.
And now just a one-possession game thanks to that quick hitter. Outstanding play in the open court. You know, there are those who wonder if Gordon Hayward can lead a team to the promised land. However, as just a sophomore, he led a non-powerhouse college to a championship game. So, in fact, they were just one basket away from winning it all.
Here's Ellis after the basket by Utah. Passes to Hill. Yes, and it's Ellis picking up the assist. Ellis has got his 4th assist in this one. 6 changes of the lead here.
Yeah, no team able to build a big lead early on. I mean, it's tight.
Yeah, both teams still kind of feeling their way through this game.
Now here's Hill, the fast break opportunity. And it goes out of bounds. That one off Hayward. So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. Hayward against George. To the inside. It's stolen by Gobert. Here's Burke. And the rejection by Mahimi. And it's out of bounds. The Jazz able to retain possession here. Favors in the post. He's guarded by Hill. It's Burke. It's out the key. 6 on the shot clock. Back to Gobert. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. The Jazz have shot 2 of 3 from the free throw line tonight.
Shooting for Utah.
That free throw, no good. And he's good on the second. Utah was so tough near the end of last season, Greg. They weren't going to make the playoffs, but they did give other teams some trouble.
That's a great point. And how about going 19-10 after the All-Star break? Another team that would have been in the playoffs if they were in the East.
And then C.J. Miles with the dunk.
And, guys, this game won't be close for long if they keep giving up dunks like that.
No, it won't, G.A. You're right. A glaring error defensively and letting him get all the way to the basket that time.
But it's only 2 points. I mean, it was flashy, no doubt, but still, it only counts for 2. 2 is all.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was your Jazz Dancers. Give a nice round of applause.
And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter.
And, you know, for the Jazz, you mentioned their post-All-Star break surge. I mean, that 19-10 record they had after the break was good enough for 6th best in the league.
Favors passes to Gobert.
Rising high to throw that one down.
Sky high. Fantastic one-hand jam.
Nice way there, guys, to finish up that possession.
Hayward with the ball. George picks him up. Hayward kicks to Burke. Shot clock at 6. 17-foot shot on the way. And it's Favors that time on the assist by Burks.
And really, the Jazz were a team nobody wanted to play after the break. They were over 500 against the rest of the West and had some big wins over playoff teams in the process.
And so the ball out of bounds. Gobert touched it last. Just 5 on the clock. George, that's a 2-pointer. And it comes off the front of the rim. And here's Utah. They're on a 12-4 run right now. Got that bucket in no time at all. And now a 5-point Utah lead.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
And that's key to this run. Passing it with purpose. The D hasn't been able to keep up.
They get it back. And it's blocked. 4 on 3 as they bring it up. Lots of room. And the rebound goes to the Pacers.
And you know what? That's one of those heat checks if he's taking shots like that.
Yeah, heat check or not, I don't care how hot he may or may not be. He's not making that one.
Now, here's George. He kicks it to Hill. That falls. Nice speed that time from George. Hill's got his second bucket of the game to go. Now, here's Burke. He's guarded by Hill. Hayward kicks to Favors. 13 feet away. Rebound by Mahimi.
Not sure what the D was doing there. Clearly a breakdown. You can ill afford to give a guy like him that good a look.
From deep, Miles.
C.J. Miles.
That's good, and he's now 3 for 4 from the field.
And if you're the guy who has to guard him, it is never going to be an easy night for you.
Utah calls timeout.
And we all know Utah is a very young team. Last year, only the 76ers were younger. Still very competitive given the age and the lack of experience from this group.
So Utah ends up going with the new group. And a change for the Pacers. Dallenberg's checked in. And here's Exum. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Got a piece of it. And oh, here we go with George. Nobody but look at that.
I don't know that this is the time for that kind of flair. In a close game, the important thing is the 2 points, not the dramatics.
Oh, come on, Clark. He had to go for it, didn't he?
Yeah, but hey. He's an athlete, and I can't fault him for that one. Although, if he missed it, I might have. no doubt it's been a bit of a struggle for him here in this quarter in terms of scoring.
Screen by Sanders. Here's Ingles. Pass to Sanders. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot two. First trip to the free throw line for him in this one.
Shooting for Utah.
You know, for the Pacers last season, with Paul George being out for most of the season, they knew it would be a struggle. They would go into lengthy dry spells that made it hard for them to keep pace in the East, in part because they missed Paul George's all-around brilliance and his offense.
The shot by George, wide open. That doesn't go either for George.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
59 seconds left to play in the first half. As for those dry spells you mentioned about the Pacers, G8, they had a number of long losing streaks last season.
Yeah, as a team, they had 4 different losing streaks of 6 or more games, and they got hot at the end. Season-high win streak of 6 to stay playoff relevant. It was just too little, too late compared to their losing streaks earlier in the year.
And for C.J. Miles, he sure can string together a long line of threes under the league with a nice jump shot that has now become deadly.
Yeah, he doesn't get to the free throw line much, and he's not really much of a playmaker, but he's 3D in color. HD 3D. Take a look here at what Miles has been doing. 9 points, and he's chalked up 1 3-pointer on the day as well.
And Clark, I'm sure that won't be the last one. A lot of times he can get hot and stay hot from beyond. And talking about C.J. Miles, he was filthy last year. Indiana needed his spark offensively, especially without Paul George in the lineup. Miles responded by putting up career highs in points and minutes played. Just an unbelievable impact on the season.
Just 2 to shoot. Hood can't get it to go. Oh, a monumental bucket! And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Pacers out in front. They finish off the second quarter with a 13-5 run. And join us right back here after the break for the start of the second half. Here we go now, the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. Favors and Gobert are the shot-blocking duo inside. Pairing up in the backcourt, Trey Burke and Alec Burks. And it's Hayward in the small forward position. That's the group starting the second half for Quinn Snyder. And he gets it to go. Allen's got it going here in the start of the second half. The first points in the third quarter for the Pacers. Burke kicks to Favors. The dish out to Gobert. And a slam dunk by Favors.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him. You know, as I watched Derek Favors last season, he continued to develop his offense. He was a big, unpolished athlete coming into the league, had some conditioning problems, but now it seems like he's on track to be a force as a power forward.
Time called here. Indiana decides to talk it over. Talking about Derek Favors, his points per game average went up last season, as it has done in each of his 6 seasons in the league. He's an ascending player.
He has, definitely refined his moves down on the blocks, and he's also become much improved at passing out of the double team, averaging a career high in assists last season as well. The arrow is certainly pointing up for Mr. Favors.
So Indiana ends up with a new group on the floor. The Pacers have gone 9 of 10 from the line, so making the most of their chances. Everyone understands the importance of Paul George to the ball club. That's why taking his offensive game to the next level would be so beneficial.
Yeah, he has all the physical tools, the instincts, and obviously he has made those strides. But if he wants to become a top 5 guy, he's still got a little bit of work to do in terms of his game.
That's the kind of aggressive and assertive play they need as we get closer and closer to crunch time.
You're right, Clark. Just continue to pound it in the paint and get those easy points inside.
Fires the 3. Burks' shot is good. Burks has got 8 points.
From a man PG, Paul George, so much focus has been on extending his range, but ever since he started launching over 5 3-pointers a game, he shot under 43% from the field. Maybe time for him to balance out that shot selection.
Utah leading. They've definitely hit that groove offensively.
They sure have, guys. I mean, really aggressive. And I like that posture and mindset. Stay aggressive.
Corey, you like groove, don't you?
I do. Let's groove tonight, Kevin. As a matter of fact, let's just stay in the attack mode that we're seeing from these guys. They're getting whatever they want. And guys, talking about Paul George, the continued improvement of his ball handling is key to generating more offense. That was a weakness of his coming out of college. He's worked on it, but making it a strength the way LeBron has would go a long way toward getting him to that next level.
Burke kicks to Favors. It's stolen by Hill. And George with the stuff.
And guys, that's a big swing right there. I mean, taking the steal and then turning it into 2 easy points on the dunk.
No telling how important that sequence could turn out to be.
And guys, in a game this snug, moments like that are the ones we usually look back on at the end as a difference maker.
Wow, 5 straight buckets coming out of half. They are rolling.
Emahimi with the stuff.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
Utah calls timeout. Everyone knows about the Paul George injury from last year and how it affected the Pacers. He said almost the entire season, and there was no doubt they missed him.
Yeah, and when George came back, Kevin, the Pacers got hot, but they had to put him on a minutes limit. And it wasn't just George, though. The team as a whole had a lot of injuries during the course of the season.
Utah trailing here. Burke kicks to Favors. The pass to Burke. Back to Favors. There's the killer two-handed slam.
Guys, he's one of the main reasons this game is tied up. I mean, he's done his part to keep them in it.
Ellis kicks to Budinger. Good, and the assist goes to Ellis. Ellis has got 6 assists here tonight.
That's the kind of D that you're not going to find success with, guys. They've got to get a hand in the face.
Gobert dishes to Hayward. Back to Gobert. Up off the screen.
What a great start to the second half. They still haven't missed a field goal.
Ellis kicks to Budinger. Back to Ellis. To the middle. Here's D'Alembert. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. thing about Sam D'Alembert, he has been an outstanding defender over the course of his career. Really, guys, the consummate rim protector.
Great length and quickness with timing as a shot blocker. Ended last season 8th on the all-time blocks list among active players.
Looking at who's out there now for the Jazz. Sanders checked in for Gobert. Hood comes in for Gordon Hayward. And it's Dante Exum in for Burke. And a look now at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Pacers.
They've knocked down plenty of mid-range jumpers in this one. That's been big for them.
Yeah, but also give them credit for the layups they've had tonight after strong drives to the basket.
Booker, he's checked in for the Jazz.
You know, going back to D'Alembert, only 32 games played last season for him. It was the fewest games played in his career. Amazingly, though, he still averaged over 1 block and 5 rebounds in just 17 minutes a game.
Dishes it to Exum. Feeds to Hood. And that comes off the assist by Exum. Now it's a 3-point Utah lead.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
Pass to Budinger. Buries it from 3-point range. Budinger's got it all tied up now for Indiana.
And when you talk about D'Alembert, he really remained the same guy throughout his career, a rebounder, defender. Offensively, he was mostly dunks, not many assists. A guy who could impact the game while playing with his limitations. And really not everyone can do that.
And Budinger gets it to go. Ellis on the double team. And the Jazz with possession here. Exum passes to Sanders. Booker dishes to Exum. An easy 2 points on the layup. And the Jazz lead by 1.
They are just killing them on the interior.
Yeah, you can't say that with enough emphasis. I mean, the defenders are just not being aggressive enough down low. You got to play with some physicality in the paint. Well, he won't miss many of those, especially with the defender not in the best of positions there.
Hood gets the bucket.
They've been splashing home those threes since halftime.
Marked improvement in their shooting from what we saw to start the game.
Now here's Ellis. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change. And D'Alembert kicks to Budinger. 4 on the clock. Tries again. It's good, and the Jazz lead is cut down to 2 on the bucket from Allen.
Now that's how you pick up second chance points. Stay active and be ready as soon as the shot goes up.
And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for 1 more. It's going to be Sanders shooting. Samuel D'Alembert picks one up. Joe Ingles, he's checked in for Burks. And Indiana with the change here, too. Solomon Hill, he's checked in for Allen. Exum passes to Booker. Knocked away. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Jazz will retain possession. .23 seconds left in the third. 6 to shoot. Here's Hood. Count the bucket. Hood's got 8 here in the quarter.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Pick up by Hill. The drive by Ellis. Shots continuing to fall as we conclude the third quarter. Both teams putting up points. It's the Jazz. They lead by 6. And right after this, we'll bring you the start of the final quarter right here on 2K Sports. We welcome you back to what has been a good one here as we get into the fourth quarter. And a look at the 5 for the Pacers to start the fourth quarter. Hill and Miles team up in the backcourt. Paul George is out there with Hill, and it's Mahimi in the pivot spot, manning the middle. Here's George. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
And we all know about Paul George and his injury while with Team USA. I mean, he has still said that he would consider playing international ball.
For George to be eager to go back and represent the U.S. in international play is a brave move.
Yeah, I think, Kevin, a lot of it might be that he just wants to put that in the past and move on. And sometimes you do that best by confronting things head on. The only way to have that be the past is to keep playing for his country.
And now we'll get a perspective here on how the hustle game has been going for the Jazz.
Well, they forced a decent number of turnovers in this one, fellas, and they've turned most of those turnovers into points.
Yeah, but also they haven't missed a beat in terms of their fast break game. That's been equally as effective all night long.
And the Jazz making a change here. Burks is checked in. George dishes to Hill. The 3. And with that, the Jazz lead is cut down to just 3 on the basket from George.
Man, that's sure got to be a load off his mind after not hitting a single three-pointer in that first half.
Now, here's Burke. Burke down low that time, and he got the 3-second call.
Oh, no, you hate to see that. Those are just the kind of errors that can cost you in a game like this.
Now, here is Hill. He's tightly guarded. And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
That's a brain freeze right there from the entire defense. Now is not the time to lose your focus.
Burke kicks to Favors. Hayward passes to Gobert. And there's the feed to Favors.
And the deeper we get into this game, it seems like the more the offenses are in rhythm.
Without question, I mean, both of these teams are firing on full broadband bandwidth. I mean, full throttle ahead.
They set the screen. George. And he comes off the screen and slams it through.
And that's such solid, fundamental basketball on display right there, guys.
You talk about it all the time, Greg. Yeah, great use of the pick to set up the dunk.
And, guys, it was a terrific understanding between teammates that made that possible. They really did read each other well there. They've been strong on the boards. There's no disputing that.
That's what the box score says, but still anybody's game.
And now we've got the intentional foul.
Really no idea why you're fouling in a situation like that. You know, maybe there's some bad blood between those two.
Yeah, but that's no excuse for that kind of foul. I mean, that might be an explanation for it, but certainly doesn't justify it. And even then, it's just not a good play.
Utah calls timeout. Well, clearly, guys, Trey Burke is a guy who is talent, drafted number 9 overall 2013, grew up in Columbus, Ohio, went to the University of Michigan. But so far, you know, Greg, in the NBA, he's been a bit of a tweener.
And that's a great point. And part of the issue is, you know, he was a scoring guard in a point guard's body. And one thing that happens in college when you're the best player, it's a lot easier. Now when you move up to the next level, you have to change what you do on the floor to impact the game. And that's been a challenge for him thus far early in his career.
Interesting. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Quinn Snyder was saying to his team. He told them, this is it, fellas. Let's hit them right out of this timeout. Put some pressure on them. Show them how much you want it. Let's go get it. Guys, he's really exhorting them to give them a burst of energy.
And, going back to Trey Burke, for a guy with a scoring mindset, he has some limitations there. His field goal percentage was under 40 his first 2 seasons. Part of that is because he doesn't have the explosiveness to get to the rim.
At the line for your Jazz.
And talking about Trey Burke, at his size, he needs to become a more consistent playmaker. I know he's a competitor, very successful in college, wants to play a lot of minutes in the pros. But to do that, he needs to reshape his game and I think adopt a pass-first mentality.
And George gets it to go.
How about raising his game here in the fourth quarter? Missing just 1 of his 5 attempts so far.
Burks in the corner. And he wills that one in, sinking right through off the back iron.
Boy, such outstanding patience and decision-making for them offensively.
Absolutely. Their ball movement has been outstanding, and they're piling up the assists.
Kicks it to Hill. Sanders with the steal. And yes, sir, that one drops. And the Jazz lead by 5.
Guys, his consistency in terms of shooting has really helped them seize control.
And stolen by Favors. Burks dishes to Favors. Hayward outside. And there's Burke. That's good on the assist by Hayward. And now it's an 8-point Jazz lead. Clark, the thing you like about Derek Favors is he keeps adding to his game every year. You forget how young he is, too.
That's exactly right. We need a reminder. This guy came into the league very early, right after a year of college. Seems like he's been around forever.
Gobert, he's checked in for the Jazz. And a change for the Pacers. Samuel Dallenberg, who's checked in for Ian Mahinmi.
And I love the way he uses his size there to make sure he gets that board.
Gobert with a screen for Hayward. Up top, Favors. Pulls up, high post. The basket good off the assist from Hayward. Hayward's got his 7th assist here tonight. Hill kicks to Miles. And stolen by Favors. Here's Burke. And he uses the glass on the layup. Burke's got 5 points now this quarter.
One aspect of their play today that's really been tight and far superior is their passing.
And that kind of flow can be elusive, but the great offenses have it, and that's just what they've shown here tonight.
Here's Gobert. And there's a nice one-handed slam.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
Yeah, early offense is often easy offense. Excellent work that time.
Boy, they just cannot take the lid off.
Well, they need a basket in the worst possible way, and they've got to stop this run, and the only way you do that, you got to score yourself.
And as they continue to just dominate this game, you have to wonder how much can they win by.
Well, it's on the verge of getting out of hand, Greg. You can feel it. You can see it, in part because the defense has been about as good as the offense, and both have been really good.
Gobert, the screen. Out to Hayward. Clock at 6. And again, it's the Jazz from deep.
And this is what they wanted. I mean, to announce their presence in this matchup with authority. Very decisive. It can definitely be considered a statement win for the Jazz.
I agree, Steve. And this is a game where the defense, Clark Steele specifically, generating a lot of opportunities.
And it created extra possessions for him, too, Kevin. Scoring opportunities they cashed in on. And that effort, a big part of what will be a nice victory tonight.
And it'll go down as their first official win of the new year.
And when you play a team twice like these two will this season, always nice to win the first one as they'll go up 1-0 in the season series against the Pacers.
And you have to look back at this and see the huge game it was for Derek Favors. He affected the game so much with the way he was able to come out and get steals and extra possessions for his team.
Here's what Utah's going with right now. Booker, he's checked in for Rudy Gobert. Joe Ingles comes in for Gordon Hayward. Hood's checked in for Alec Burks. And it's Dante Exum in for Burke. Now, here's Exum. Paul George unable to get his shot to go. And that one's good by Favors.
Didn't take their time in wrapping this game up. They came out with a sense of urgency.
Nice ending spurt to polish it off. Once they had him on the ropes, they started throwing haymakers at him.
The whole knockout blow.
It's tipped. It's stolen by Hill, and so it's Utah easily grabbing the win. They won this